Welcome back, everybody.
Hi, Rahul.
Hello.
And some others might be joining as well.
Have you
The
asked
news of the
Musa?
day.
I'm really looking forward to speak to Musa.
And some other people might be joining as well. Big day in Indian football. Igor Stimac yesterday in a meeting in the AIFF, it was discussed and then finalized that he would be terminated, and and that's big news. And then hopefully it's only the start, because I think there are other people who have been involved or are involved in what has happened. So therefore, great news for fans of Indian football. And I've got Akshata with me, Rahul with me. Hiren will join a little while, maybe Musa as well. I've passed it around a little. Shine is also maybe joining us a little later. So let's talk about this and let's see what happens. And and therefore, what's the first feeling? Ladies first, Akshata.
I'm really happy. I went for a walk soon after and I couldn't stop smiling. I was that happy. But I also just want to really point this out that this is just a step in the right direction. The problems of Indian football will not magically vanish. So this is very important that we all have to remember and keep our expectations in check. That ऐसा नहीं है that tomorrow we'll wake up and Indian football will just transform. So yeah.
Rahul, first feeling?
I was actually walking with a friend and he sarcastically said, "Oh my God, the AIFF just don't respect Igor Stimac." I was like, "Yeah, he's gone. Finally, it's over." And it's news that's been actually, again, I feel like much like Sunil Chhetri's retirement, it's being discussed everywhere. Even like my non-Indian football friends, everybody's discussing it. So yeah, it's. I mean, at least for me, I think it was coming. We all saw it coming in. Otherwise, I have a couple of questions off the bat itself. The first one's regarding his contract. Now, I remember we spoke about this, and the option to extend was only if he made round 3, right? Till 2026. So at the moment, we haven't paid him severance or anything. Like, we didn't have to pay him anything for this contract.
Rahul, you're asking the question I think that a lot of people are asking, but still I am not clear on what the status of the contract is. There have been conversations in the background, and if you see, and let me quickly just read the AIFF press release, which I forwarded to certain people of you, which they have done. Interestingly also is, and this exposes another problem, is that it seems like Marcus knew about it, posted it, and 5 minutes later, the AIFF came out, or 4 minutes later, actually, they came out with a press statement. And the press statement reads as following. And guys, I see all your comments. We'll take them all. And again, Hiren, thanks a lot of joining again. Or rather, you joining me now. I had joined you earlier today. AIFF terminates the services of head coach Igor Stimac. New Delhi. Senior officials of the All India Football Federation held a virtual meeting on 16th June 2024, which means yesterday, Monday. Sunday. The meeting was chaired by AIFF Vice President Mr. N.A. Harris, and the others in attendance were Mr. Menla Ethimpa, Mr. Anil Kumar Prabhakaran, Mr. I.M. Vijayan, Mr. Climax Lawrence, and Mr. M. Satyanarayan. Noting the disappointing outcome of the senior men's national team's FIFA World Cup 2006 qualification campaign, the members unanimously agreed that a new head coach would be best placed to take the team forward. The meeting instructed the acting Secretary General, Mr. Satyanarayan, to notify the current head coach, Mr. Igor Stimac, of its decision to terminate his engagement. Pursuant to the above, a notice of termination has been issued to Mr. Stimac by the AIFF Secretariat, and he stands relieved of his duties, relieved of his obligations with immediate effect. The AIFF thanks Mr. Stimac for service to the national team and wishes him well in his future endeavors. So that is what the AIFF press release says. So the process, as per what I understood, is that there have been conversation. There was behind the scenes pressure on the AIFF to take that decision from certain people. And again, those people, as always, know who they are. Good work, guys. And otherwise, this would not have happened. So it's not something that that the AIFF themselves openly took, or that fan pressures helped. There are people in the background who, for the best interest of Indian football, have done it, and they will do it. And therefore, that's the most important thing, and therefore, let's hope for better condition, better days ahead. But again, I think all of us here understand, we've discussed it multiple times, that this can only be a first step. If we want a better future for Indian football, don't think tomorrow a new coach comes in and then suddenly he'll do wonders and all that stuff. And I've seen a lot of suggestions from people, and again, and there's the next one in the round joining in. Hi, Shayan, good evening. So therefore, I asked first Rakshita, and then I asked Rahul and Hiren, and then Shayan will come to you. Hiren, first reaction when you heard that this could be happening and this would be happening.
जैसे ही मैंने आपके साथ लाइव स्ट्रीम खत्म की एंड मैंने मोबाइल हाथ में लिया एंड पहला ही मैंने सीधा ही देखा ईगोर स्टीमैक सैक्ड एंड उसी के मोमेंट पे मेरी खुशी का कोई ठिकाना नहीं था. मतलब फाइनली एज ए इंडियन फुटबॉल फैन समथिंग टू चीयर अप, समथिंग टू होप फॉर. एक उम्मीद की, आशा की एक किरण यहाँ पे फाइनली आपको देखने को मिल रही है. एंड हमने जो सर स्ट्रीम भी रैप अप की थी उसमें भी हमने लास्ट पे वही बोला था, एट द मोमेंट सिचुएशन इज लुकिंग लाइक अनसर्टेन, ब्लर, कि कुछ यहाँ पे उम्मीद नहीं है. देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ फैंस यहाँ पे सेइंग कि वी नीड टू बॉयकॉट, बट देयर इज ऑलवेज यू कैन से कि थिंग्स की उम्मीद पे दुनिया कायम है. I think finally वो हुआ यहाँ पे, and finally they take first step. That is a very important point also. तो आपने बोला कि this is only the first step. ऐसा नहीं है कि यहाँ पे इसके बाद सब कुछ सही हो जाएगा. This is just starting, and let's hope so AIFF आगे भी इस तरह के जो important and जो necessary decision है, at least वो तो यहाँ पे टाइम पे ले. बाकी चीज आप करो ना करो, but at least जो सिस्टम को रन करने के लिए जो है उससे भी वर्स्ट या फिर उससे भी खराब ना होने के लिए जो आपको जरूरी डिसीजन है वो तो टाइम टू टाइम आपको लेने पड़ेंगे. सो ईगोर स्टीमैच आफ्टर इज यू कैन से कि राउंड 3 फेलियर, क्वालिफिकेशन फेलियर, देयर इज अ नो वे कि यहाँ पे कोई भी पूरे वर्ल्ड में अगर कोई भी होता he will continue. So definitely उसमें कोई सेंस नहीं बनता. एंड आई थिंक नाउ द सिचुएशन इज इंटरेस्टिंग बिकॉज रेव स्पोर्ट्स में ईगोर स्टीमैच ने ऐसा बोला है कि अगर AIFF का टॉप मैनेजमेंट भी यहाँ पे रिजाइन करता है देन आई विल नॉट गो फॉर माय कंपनसेशन फी.
Hiren, we'll come to talk about that because I don't know if that comment has ever been made, but again, that's another discussion. You know how all of these games play in. Shayan, good evening. Shayan, what was your reaction when you first heard Igor Stimac is history?
Actually, I was surprised some way because as he told many players that he would like to continue. That was also surprising for me. But I think it's good for Indian football that I think everybody needed a change. Everybody wanted the change. Fans wanted the change, and that way that our team was playing in Asian Cup. Then we lost to Afghanistan in Guwahati, and after that also I think in Goa, Kuwait, we were unable to defeat Kuwait in Salt Lake Stadium with a full house. So somehow I thought that this was coming, and I think it's a never better late than never because I was in a doubt that what would happen if Igor Stimac would have continued. I think it's better now. At least he has left, and I think that a better coach with a better pedigree, having good knowledge about Asian football, should come in and take Indian football forward. I think many people are saying right now Indian coaches are also a way option, but I personally feel that it's always the foreign coaches who would take this Indian football team forward. With all respect to the national coaches, right?
Agree. I totally agree, and I'm seeing your comments, guys, and we'll try and enter them because I see, for example, a comment stating, "Hello, seeing the condition of Indian football and players, will any coach want to coach India? What will new coach do with bad players?" So I can tell you that me, who is not involved in the AIFF, already have had messages of 5 coaches, international coaches, foreign coaches, who are showing an interest to come to India, and a couple of them are not even, are actually high profile. So they, again, it is not about question of India getting a high profile coach. The question is, who would be the perfect fit, and that is now the challenge, because now the question is again, yes, guys, you want to talk about who do we get in,
Segi by take my favorite coach.
So I'm
Harvey Renard,
seeing,
but it's too difficult.
So and the thing is, Rev Sports did a live show where it seemed the team isn't very convinced whether they felt ever made the same mistake like when they sacked Constantine. See, Football Bharat, the first mistake is Constantine was not sacked. Constantine resigned. See, again, and this is what a lot of people are playing around with, not knowing the facts. So that's why I always say when people
देखो और फुटबॉल भारत भाई नहीं फुटबॉल भारत भाई दूसरा चीज ये भी है कि कभी आप दूसरों के आंसू पे हंसते हो तो कभी आपको भी रोने की बारी आती है. So everyone's time comes. So that's the thing.
So that's the thing. Classic Gaming, again, let him expose what he can expose. Again, who's going to take him seriously?
Nothing
that's
will
his problem. कुछ नहीं होगा. And even if he does,
कुछ नहीं होगा.
Those people
नहीं
don't
होगा.
care what he says.
नहीं होगा. पर वो कुछ आप देखिए कि सर एक कहावत है ना कि एक चोर दूसरे चोर की पोल नहीं खोलता है. सो कुछ नहीं होगा. वो सिर्फ वो बोलने के लिए सारी चीजें है. नथिंग विल हैपन. ये लोग यहाँ पे कंपनसेशन फी पे कर देंगे. ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या होगा. ये लोग अपने आप को थोड़ी ना वो करेंगे कि हम रिजाइन कर देंगे, हमारी गलती थी. ये लोग कभी नहीं मानेंगे. सो नथिंग विल हैपन भाई. वो चाहे कितना भी बोल ले कि मैं यहाँ पे ये करूंगा वो करूंगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. लीगल बैटल होगा. लीगल बैटल में जो भी मे बी फैसला वो उसमें जाएगा सीएस में. वहां से जो आएगा कि भाई आपको कंपनसेशन इतना पे करना है उतना कर दो, बात खत्म.
And that is the point.
I think RRC game is saying that we should not celebrate till AIFF announces the good coach. Upgrade over Stimac. If we get a Stimac 2.0, so we'll have to wait till a good coach comes in. I think इससे better ही होगा. I think जो भी who would come here would take the Indian football forward. अभी 124-25 और 150 में आ जाते और थोड़ा दिन चलता तो I think 150 was then realistic aim.
And that is, I think, a very important aspect. I would hope we don't jump to this conclusion regarding an Indian coach. I don't see an Indian coach at the moment being the right fit for the national team. I think it has to be a foreigner and has to be of the right level and right profile who can sort out things very, very quickly. And then Hari's is quite interesting. Jump from Musa Bhai's streams to Harry Bhai's live and now to announce sirs, I'm busy today. Yeah, I think Hari, I think all of us
are. He also busy today.
And therefore, Igor Stimac says, Jai Hind. I guess you now need a new screen name. And yeah, sabke poll and Shaggy wants Herverna. Shaggy, we cannot pay him.
Exactly.
That's the reality. That's a multi-million euro package that Hervé Renard would want, and Hervé Renard is being sought after by half of the world. And I think South Korea wants him, Cameroon wants him. So therefore, I don't see him.
Oh no,
but I think
Somnath's comment. Somnath has.
I'm coming. I'm going down.
But sir, एक चीज तो पक्की है कि जो हम इगो स्टिमिच को पे करते थे $30,000 whatever 25 लाख, उसमें भी अच्छा कुछ आ सकता है. ऐसा नहीं है चाहे हाई प्रोफाइल नहीं आएगा, बट स्टिल देयर इज ए गुड कोच की जो आप अगर आप एशियन कोचेस अगर बाकी कंट्रीज के भी देखें, एशिया के जो हमारे लेवल के कंट्रीज है उसके हिसाब से देखें तो हम ज्यादा ही पे करते थे मतलब इगो स्टिमिच को सैलरी वाइज भी.
Also, guys, just want to point one thing out. On Twitter, also a lot of things are coming up now. People are saying that Igor has maybe spoken to certain media houses, and some people are just saying that AIFF has offered him 3 months compensation, salary compensation. Guys, just wait for some time before making these speculations and just believing all the things that are out there.
और एक चीज और है कि फैंस को जो कंपनसेशन फी है और उनका टेंशन नहीं लेना चाहिए उतना ज्यादा. हमें मतलब रखना चाहिए कि हमें नेशनल टीम में चेंज चाहिए था कोच का, वो अब हो चुका है. अब लेट होप्स हो कि AIFF का नेक्स्ट स्टेप हो कि वो यहाँ पे हमारी जो यूथ टीम से और बाकी जो प्रॉब्लम है उसको यहाँ पे एड्रेस करें. वो कंपनसेशन उनको अरेंज करना है, उसी के लिए तो उनको रखा है, नहीं तो उनका कोई वहाँ पे कोई काम नहीं है. तो वो उनको अब सुलझाने दो क्या करना है, कि किस तरह से उन्होंने टर्मिनेट किया है, कैसे उनको यहाँ पे कंपनसेशन फी पे करना पड़ेगा कि नहीं करना पड़ेगा, वो अब उनका लीगल मैटर है. वो वहाँ पे उनको लड़ने दो. नेशनल टीम को जो फैन की डिमांड थी या फिर जो चेंज होना चाहिए था, ऐसा नहीं थी कि सिर्फ फैन की डिमांड थी, The thing which should be done after the, you can say कि round 3 not qualifying into the round 3, वो था कि आपको कोच को चेंज करना फर्स्ट स्टेप. नाउ लेट होप सो कि जो बाकी चीजें भी जो जरूरी है उसके ऊपर वो लोग फोकस करें. एंड सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज मेरे को लगता है कि नेक्स्ट कोच यहाँ पे मेरे को लगता है कि बिफोर सितंबर, यानी कि जो आपके नेक्स्ट मैच खेलने वाले उससे पहले हो जाना चाहिए. बिकॉज आई थिंक एक नेक्स्ट कोच को अगर आप सितंबर, अक्टूबर, नवंबर की ट्रांसफर विंडो दोगे यहाँ पे टू अंडरस्टैंड इंडियन फुटबॉल एंड टू हैव 6-7 मैचेस विद द जैसे कि नेशनल टीम, देन वो यहाँ पे मार्च में जो आपके एशियन कप क्वालिफायर से उसमें मेरे को लगता है कि बेटर क्रिकेट छा सकता है. सो आई थिंक यू हैव अ 2.5 month पीरियड टू सिलेक्ट न्यू कोच. उसमें ज्यादा देर नहीं लगनी चाहिए, मतलब उतना ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगाना चाहिए कि भाई आप 6-7 महीने लगा दो. सो आई थिंक दिस आर दी नाउ द डिमांड इंडियन फुटबॉल फैन आस्क फॉर. ये कंपनसेशन फी कितना पे करेगा, ईगो स्टिमैच एक्सपोज करेगा कि नहीं करेगा, ये सारी बाकी की चीजें हैं. अभी ये हमारी सारी डिमांड ये होनी चाहिए.
Yeah, Shaggy has also put a very important point that the fund should not be cut. Yes, Rahul, please go ahead.
I have a question, guys, because I think one thing is when before you're planning to sack a coach, at least in club football, you know it's coming for a long time. I think do we have this issue right now with Igor Stimac, because up until say the Kuwait game, we didn't know for sure whether he's going to stay or go. Do we have a plan in place for like a new national coach? Do you guys think we've had enough time to sort of look at our options, because it's probably more sudden than other cases, right?
Rahul, the problem is, of course, is with national teams, or again, national teams. Let's take the Asian Cup for example, right? A lot of those coaches resign directly after games, so most federations will be caught off guard. Now, for me, I see all the names, and I would suggest to the AIFF. I'm sure Kalyan, Satya, Harris, Tete, all these guys who are in senior positions will be inundated by now already, have been inundated by either messages from agents or coaches directly or interested in the job. They should have a sort of coach scrutinizing committee and look at the CVs, look at their budgets, reply to anyone and everyone, say, listen, this is what our budget is, and then take a decision, take a call.
इसके लिए सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि इसके लिए क्या ये जो टेक्निकल कमेटी है उसको भी क्या बोलते हैं कि रोल दिया जाता है टू सिलेक्ट नेक्स्ट कोच, या फिर इसके लिए स्पेशल कमिटी बनती है कि इतने मेंबर यहाँ पे डिसाइड करेंगे?
In my opinion, the technical committee, we have spoken about this, Hiren, in the last few days. Technical committee है, लेकिन कोई डिसीजन तो नहीं लेता ना.
नहीं, वो है.
So therefore,
लेकिन मैं बोला प्रोसेस कैसे होता है? प्रोसेस में कौन होता है वो?
प्रोसेस कैसे होता है? There is no process. How was Stimac appointed, right? How did the others come in? Let's say Wim Kovermans came in from a recommendation from FIFA. Bob Houghton came in from a certain recommendation. Steven originally came in with a recommendation from FIFA AFC. So therefore, those are the things also which will happen. That if you're going to ask,
Igor Stimac किसके recommendation का है?
वो तो हो सकता है ना, वो तो सबसे अच्छा होगा ना. And my point is, again, I know fans love this. It's a nice piece of thing. Okay, let's play guesswork, and I have an idea and all that stuff. But for me, the question is here: who fits us in this situation? I've already seen. I saw Nilanjan posted a little earlier on Twitter that he, having worked with Venki, would like to see Venki in that position because he thinks it's perfect. Where I would honestly totally disagree and would say, if you ask me, if you would take an Indian at least for a temporary basis, it would be Mahesh Gali for me, right? But again, we are not in the position. We are,
But for me, sir, I think it don't make any sense कि हमारे पास time है और फिर भी हम interim coach रखें, because 2.5 months is enough time to select a new coach.
See, Hiren, I said on your show a little earlier. Hiren, I said on your show a little earlier.
7 days.
You can do this process in 7 days if you do it properly.
Sir,
right? You will be, or tonight you will be inundated by CVs. Inundated by CVs.
Yes.
And you then have to filter out कौन वाला हो सकता है.
Correct.
Senda is Stephen still interested in Indian national priority?
No, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. He's not interested.
The point here is, I think at the end of the day is, I think everybody can have an opinion on this matter. Rahul can, Shayan can, Hiren can, even Akshata can, or Musa can. Anybody can have. All of you guys can have an opinion. Our opinions don't count, right? It's nice to have an opinion, So therefore, for me, the AIFF has to find a process to define what is the job of the head coach, define that he has to qualify India for the 2027 AFC Asian Cup. That will be his job next year. And for that, no experiments.
The one thing I want to say, many of the subscribers were commenting about one person. I think of late the former coach of Vietnam. I think many of the Park Hang-seo. I think he currently is the manager of the second division club in Vietnam. It's league, and I think he fits in our budget also. What I know. So do you think
लास्ट टाइम पे वो फाइनल थर्ड में थे ना सर, जो सेंडा बोल रहे पार्क एंसियो, आई थिंक जो तीन लास्ट कैंडिडेट थे
टॉप
5 में,
टॉप 5 में
अल्बर्ट रोका, इगोर और ये
2002 के वर्ल्ड कप में जो साउथ कोरियन का टीम थी उसमें वो हिस्सा भी थे. उनका भी फुटबॉलिंग से चल अच्छा था, बट somehow Igor का presentation, what I know, when Shyam Thapa was the technical committee, heading the technical committee team that time, and he thought that Igor did a very good homework and memorizing all the players' name and all, and that worked in his favor. That actually he was very well.
नहीं, उसमें तो ईगो स्टिमैच माहिर है. नहीं, उसमें तो ईगो स्टिमैच माहिर है. So obviously saying that he can impress anyone. So definitely.
और श्याम थापा को लगा था नहीं ये वर्ल्ड कप खेला है एंड ब्रॉन्ज मेडल मिला इनको, तो कोच भी रहे हैं क्रोएशिया का, तो उनको लगा नहीं यार सब प्लेयर का नाम. आई थिंक ही टुक 30 to 35 प्लेयर्स नेम Indian football current team में उस टाइम.
But Shayan, that is the way that it's sort of, that is not the way that should be.
One thing ना वही मैं बोल रहा था, that one thing that they missed was that his average tenure as a coach barring Indian job was 11 months.
Shayan, that was not the topic. You are talking technical. The process was. Let me not get into the detail. There was no process.
Process I understand, but Albert Proca and he was.
No, you don't. You don't understand the process. You don't know the process. How Stimac got in itself is a scam.
That is a different thing that we can't discuss.
No, it's not a different thing. It's you are trying to be correct, right? But it is not correct how he got in. No, that is the start of the whole story, no? That is what, again, Pratik asked, how do you select a coach? Again, there is a certain process, but the question is, what process is the federation willing to follow in this instance to get the right person? And as I said, they will be inundated by challenges, by challenges in regard to appointing the right manager. That's the reason, no? If I see comments again, it's again, yes, Nicola Aram not going to come back to India at this moment. Yeah, very funny classic. Tuchel, Xavi, Klopp. Yeah, I think Akshata would be very happy. And Ishan asked, what real question? What kind of philosophy Indian football wants? Which sort of coach brings what style of football? Ishan, I am not even going to talk about the style of football. I don't know what you guys are going to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about the style of football. For me, it is about someone who is realistic and pragmatic, who understands this is a very difficult, tough job. Right? The circumstances are very, very difficult.
हाँ, 2-3 चीजें तो मस्ट है. एक तो ऐसा कोच लाओ कि जो थोड़ा सा डिसिप्लिन वाला हो, थोड़ा सा मैनेजमेंट वाला हो. यहाँ पे आप देखिए इगोर स्टिमैच का जो सबसे बड़ा फ्लो अभी आप रिसेंट पास्ट का बोलेंगे, हाउ द वे द ड्रेसिंग रूम इज वर्किंग. आई थिंक दैट शुड बी द फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी कि आपके पास ऐसा कोच हो कि जो थोड़ा सा डिसिप्लिन और ड्रेसिंग रूम को हैंडल कर पाए. ऐसा ना हो कि इस तरह की सिचुएशन आ जाए कि आपके वहाँ पे 2 गुट है और प्लेयर ही ना खेलना चाहते. दिस आर दी क्वालिटीज जो आपको देखनी पड़ेगी, क्योंकि जो नेशनल टीम के कोचेस आते हैं वो आपको बेसिक ऑफ फुटबॉल नहीं सिखाएंगे. These are the qualities की जो उनको और limited resources में जिन्होंने काम करके दिखाया हो rather than demanding every time.
But Hiren, I think national coaches also, if they realize that their team, let's say you've got a one-man camp, your team has problems with the basics, you need to work on the basics. Bob used to do that.
नहीं मैं ये बात सही है कि इंडियन पर्सपेक्टिव से इंडिया की जिस तरह की सिचुएशन है उसमें ऐसा कुछ भी चाहिए कि जो वो चीजें भी आपको सिखा पाए, बट ये नहीं है कि भाई आप उसी का यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि रीजन देते रह जाओ कि भाई यहाँ पे बेसिक नहीं है इसलिए रिजल्ट नहीं आ रहे. आपको जो रिसोर्सेस मिले उसमें आपको बेस्ट यूटिलाइजेशन करना है कि भाई किस तरह से यहाँ पे इस प्लेयर के साथ में बेस्ट पॉसिबल रिजल्ट निकाल पाओ, वो मैं बोल रहा हूँ. डेफिनेटली वो तो है इंडियन प्लेयरों का खामी है तो
that's the only thing, Hiren. That's the only thing. I think again, that's why I say a practical manager who understands that what team you have, what quality you have, and what this team can play. If you want to play possession football, इस team से नहीं होगा.
Exactly.
That is the reality, right? That's the point, na? So therefore, these are the situations where we are in. Rahul.
And आपके ऑब्जेक्टिव क्लियर होने चाहिए ना सर. ये जो नया कोच अप्लाई है उसके आप ऑब्जेक्टिव क्लियर होने चाहिए कि नेक्स्ट 2 इयर्स में आपके क्या से गोल सेट है कि भाई ये हमको ये करना है एशियन कप क्वालिफायर्स और वो सब, क्योंकि आई थिंक दो साल का ही सर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट देंगे. मेरे को नहीं लगता कि ये लंबा आप देंगे ज्यादा.
No, I think he'll get a contract until the end of the
Asian Cup
qualifiers.
Qualifiers,
not even Asian Cup. So Rahul, why are you looking a little sad?
I'm not sad. Just pondering like you guys. I think I'm thinking of what the new coach should be like, or what his style should. I think Anwar, Hiren, Shan, I think all of you guys as well, because I know style as such shouldn't matter to us at this point. Just get results. We need a coach who will grind results, make the most of what we have, and that's about it. But I think we're also in this process of letting others know what Indian football is and to sort of bring in new generations. I know, I think for that, to an extent, I think style is a little important, because these kids, at least the younger generation, because I've got a brother myself who's 12, 13, his friends, all of these guys end up watching Premier League football, watching wonderful tiki-taka, all of that, keep the ball, they don't play it in the air at all. And I don't know if a coach who sort of tries to play like that would influence these kids in coming into the Indian football scene at all. But I mean, it's just a thought. I'm just putting it out there.
It's an interesting thought process, but you saw England last night. England played football like they can't play football in the second half, right? So therefore, this bubble of great football in club football needs to be broken also to that extent. That's the first thing that Indian football fans need to learn. That is, it will not happen. Last year, remember, you and I did multiple shows on that topic, and I saw the team live. We are now playing as good as we were playing last year. Last year, just results were better. So for me, if we are not realistic in our approach, right? We've had 2 coaches who spoke about possession football, and they both failed. Wim Koevermans and now Igor Stimac. Both of them. Stephen, Bob Houghton, realistic. Sukhvinder Singh, realistic. Armando Colasso wanted to play some other style of football, totally bombed. So therefore, for me, my experience of having been with the national team multiple times over the years, it needs someone who understands. And to me, this team needs more of a man manager than a good coach. Because some of them need a kick. Some of the players need a kick up their backside. Some others need to be, taken in the arm and patted on the back. So this is what you need.
नहीं, एक चीज और है, राहुल का नहीं, देखिए राहुल का इंटेंशन अच्छा है कि भाई इंडियन नेशनल टीम अगर ऐसा ब्रांड ऑफ फुटबॉल खेलेगी तो लोग अट्रैक्ट होंगे, बट ये नेशनल टीम के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से राहुल मेरे को लगता है कि पॉसिबल नहीं है. और ऐसा नहीं कि इंडियन केस में है, ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड देखिए देयर आर वेरी फ्यू इंस्टेंसेस कि कोई भी नेशनल टीम में ऐसी यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि पूरा सेटअप यहाँ पे हुआ हो कि जिससे ब्यूटीफुल फुटबॉल खेले हो. इंटरनेशनल में बात कर रहा हूँ, आप देखिए चाहे ब्राजील, अर्जेंटीना या फिर और भी अदर कंट्रीज की आप बात कीजिए, देयर आर वेरी फ्यू इंस्टेंसेस के ऐसा हुआ. आई थिंक वो एक 2008 to 2012 में जो स्पेन का एक जनरेशन जो स्क्वाड आया था कि जिसके पास वो कैपेबिलिटी थी कि वो इस तरह की फुटबॉल खेल पाए. बाकी आप देखिए नेशनल टीम में उस तरह से सारे प्लेयर्स उस क्वालिटी के ला पाना और उस हिसाब से फुटबॉल खेल पाना, आई थिंक इट्स अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट. एंड एट द मोमेंट भी आप देखिए, अगर आप यूरो में भी देख रहे हैं तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हर कोई यहाँ पे ब्यूटीफुल फुटबॉल खेल रहा है. कल आप जैसे आपने देखे इंग्लैंड वर्सेस इसका ये मैच यहाँ पे सर्बिया का. सो हाँ, आई थिंक नेशनल टीम में डिफिकल्ट है. क्लब लेवल पे ये पॉसिबल हो सकता है. क्लब लेवल पे आप ये एम कर सकते हो कि हाँ भाई हमें ब्यूटीफुल फुटबॉल भी चाहिए विथ रिजल्ट. बट नेशनल टीम में तो मेरे को लगता है कि इट्स ओनली अबाउट द रिजल्ट. आई थिंक वहां पे ब्यूटीफुल फुटबॉल
For us,
खेल पाना और उस तरह की
add to say for Indian football. I don't know what Shayan thinks, but Rahul, I take your point. But to me, is we are at a stage where it's about the results. I see very few national teams around the world who can play beautiful football. Saw the criticism. I mean, I guess you will have seen the criticism from Ronaldinho about the Brazil team at the moment. Yeah. Which the guys have taken personally, right? And Rafinha said, "Arey bhai, usko ticket nahi mila, uske liye bol raha hai." I mean, Ronaldinho has been one of the greatest stylish footballers that at least I have seen. Crazy guy, but great footballer, right? So,
but आप देखिए, नहीं ब्राजील का आप देखिए रिसेंट मैचेस में जो देखिए तो उनकी आइडेंटिटी नहीं दिखती. जैसे सर ने बिल्कुल सही बोला कि उसका जो क्रिटिसिज्म था उसके बेसिस पे ही था. सो there are very few team in international
Brazil
level
has shown its identity once in the last 10 years when they lost 7-1 against Germany. That was the real identity. Shayan, identity, Indian football, kya or practical approach?
I think we practical approach is always better. I think here one of the subscriber friend is writing on a very good point. I think he's again saying about the Park Hang-seo's journey in Vietnam, where I think he was doing a good job, and suddenly he was removed because the fans wanted to see a free flowing football from Vietnam. But uske baad what happened was Vietnam is currently at 116, just below. So that shows, no, I think a person with a practical approach will give us results like Stephen was, like Bob Houghton was, or Sukhvinder Singh was. So I think these kind of people with this kind of approach, that's why for me, if you ask me, my personal choices, I think that would be, I think if we can get him, I think he would be, and of late, I think if you see Igor's history as a coach in Asian football was very limited. Barring that Iranian, he managed one of the Iranian clubs. Barring that, he didn't manage any. He had very limited knowledge about uh, Asian football. So I want somebody who is very much known in Asian football, and I want somebody who has that idea about Asian football rather than going for fancy names from Europe or other.
Rahul, I know you raised a very interesting point, but how would the younger fan? I mean, you are the youngest one in this group at the moment. The younger fans go and say, listen, I mean, last year we were going by the wings under Stimac, especially after the SAF Cup, or if I look at the semis and final, there was a huge hype in Bangalore around those games.
Yeah.
But our not so good style, let's put it this way, our not so good quality, I felt was overrated. Right? You and I have spoken about it at the time. Do you think that is something that people then forget when you get results? That okay, the style suddenly becomes sort of secondary?
I think it does, Arnav. At least for me, it does. But I don't know about the kids. I think to get them to watch for the first time or the second time.
What about your friends, Rahul? What about your friends? Let's say
my friends
about your age group.
I think it's a mixed bag, to be honest. Very honest.
नहीं राहुल का सर जो इंटेंशन या फिर जो उसका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है ना, वो इंडियन पर्सपेक्टिव से वैसे इम्पोर्टेंट भी है, क्योंकि इंडिया में देखिए क्लब फुटबॉल को उतना ज्यादा अभी प्रायोरिटी नहीं दिया जाता जितना नेशनल टीम को है. और अगर उसमें भी नेशनल टीम जो कि पॉसिबल नहीं है, हमने जो पॉइंट डिस्कस किया वो वही यहाँ पे रियलिटी है. बट राहुल का जो पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू वो वही है कि अगर नेशनल टीम आपका थोड़ा सा भी अच्छा फुटबॉल खेलती है, मतलब जो आपको आई प्लेजिंग हो, देन डेफिनेटली जो रीच है एंड जो लोग है और ज्यादा जुड़े, वो बात बिल्कुल सही है. क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई पहले क्लब फुटबॉल को जुड़ते हैं देन नेशनल टीम से क्लब फुटबॉल में हमारे यहाँ पे ज्यादा फ्रेंड्स आते हैं. सो उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से वो इम्पोर्टेंट है, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारे पास ऐसे प्लेयर नहीं है. So that is the thing.
But I think
yes, please,
sorry, I was just saying, like, I think my age people still the guys who watch football for a while, they understand the importance of results. I think for us, to a large extent, it would still be get the results, let the style of play be whatever. But I think the key point, I think, was that in India, like what I've observed is that as opposed to probably other countries, national football or international football is way more watched than club football. And I don't know, everybody, I have not seen so many families, as in like couples with their kids, come to watch to the Kandirva to watch India play as they they sort of come for BFC games. BFC games is just the young crowd. It's probably college going crowd and probably the fans who've been there since 2013. That's about it. But when we went to watch India play, I saw a lot of people who were like, so when you go and you stand in front of the railings at Kantirwa, nobody says anything. And then when we went to stand there, the families are like, hey, we're sitting down, can you move aside? And we experienced that for the first time. We're like, oh my God, okay, they're new people. They're actually people coming out and watching this. So I think from that perspective, because the national team is so widely watched by anyone, literally anyone in Bangalore would come and watch the national team. So I think that's the opportunity that we have, and we have to really, really tap into it.
Pratik has an interesting question. Is 4 years enough time for a coach to get Indian football on track? I don't think 4 years is enough, to be very honest. But the question is, how long is the cycle with a coach? Look at how the trends are in the world. The days seem to be gone where someone was staying for 10 years or 12 years with the national team. Those are rather exceptions. So the question to me is that your cycle is, okay, you come in, do 2 years, then depending on how it is, maybe get another 2 years, and then one has to see. The problem now is with your in between qualifiers. So to me, is very, very clear is that the coach will get up to the end of the AFC Asian Cup 2027 qualifiers. If you qualify for the tournament, it gets extended to Jan 2027. And then we will have to see, which means there's a 2.5-year stint. And then if it doesn't work out, then the new coach has to come in. So it is not about long-term development or something. I think it's this, again, with national teams, it's a nice thing to say. To me, it is about, on one side, it's solely about development, but it's also about immediate results. So for me, that, Pratik, if you ask me, that would be the most important thing with the coach, that he has to be able to get results relatively quickly. And there are pros and cons of saying, listen, bring in a coach who knows Indian football or bring in a coach who doesn't know Indian football, right? We have the example, again, Roca was mentioned, Manolo Marquez has been mentioned. But on the other side, you see Peter Kratky coming in, having no knowledge of Indian football and actually winning the ISL Cup. So there are pros and cons for both. But for me I would like to have someone who has coached a national team. I think coaching a club and a national team is two different pairs of shoes. So therefore, that is something for me which is sorry, I just saw her. Let's add her back. Thanks, Akshata, coming back. So that is what I would what I would say if you were asking me. What do you say, Shayan, Hiren?
Shenda, पहले आप बोलिए.
मैं तो I'm always saying his name because I think that जो हमको we want somebody ना who has a very realistic approach towards the game rather than saying fancy things. I think he would bring in that, and I think going by his results in what he did for Vietnam when he was coaching Vietnam, I think he did a very fairly good job. And I think we need coaches like Bob Houghton, we need coaches like Stephen Constantine who are realistic in that ways, and they understand the brand of football which is suited for Indian football. And if I think Park comes in for Indian football, in India, I think it would be good for Indian football. I think first priority, I think Asian football knowledge is important.
My worry with him is that he was together with a very progressive Vietnam Football Federation. The VFF took a lot of steps, and he got the end product of that, and we are at a totally different level when it comes to, where we stand at the moment. So therefore, I think that is another reality of a coach, that you're coming into a federation which is totally broken,
सर हमें तो ऐसा कोच चाहिए कि जो ऐसे कंट्री में काम किया हो कि जहाँ पे फेडरेशन ही ना हो, मतलब ना हो इन सेंस कि ऑन पेपर ही हो, जैसे आपने जमैका का बोल रहे थे, सो ऐसे फेडरेशन में काम किया होना चाहिए कि जहाँ पे कुछ अता पता नहीं है, स्टिल ही डिलीवर द रिजल्ट ऑन हिज ओन। एक एक चीज मेरे को लगता है कि एक इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट है कि कमिटमेंट होना चाहिए उस कोच का। इगोर स्टीवेंस का उस तरह से कमिटमेंट नहीं दिखा है जो मतलब यहाँ पे आप एक्सपेक्ट करते हो के कोच से। आप देखिए कि जिस तरह से बाकी जो मैचेस है आईएसएल के, आई लीग के या फिर बाकी जो मैचेस है, वो उसने मतलब उस तरह से आप देखिए कि नहीं देखे। ऑलवेज ही कम्स व्हेन दी यू कैन से कि नेशनल टीम मैचेस या फिर उसका जो पर्सनल कोई यहाँ पे वो होता था इवेंट तब। सो आई थिंक वो कमिटमेंट वाला भी एक कोच चाहिए कि जो यहाँ पे, क्योंकि विदाउट सीइंग अ लाइव मैचेस आई डोंट थिंक सो कि आप उतना बेटर प्लेयर को जज कर पाते। वी सी ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड
Agreed.
इंटरनेशनल कोचेस ऑलवेज विजिट द जैसे कि क्लब मैचेस व्हेन दे पिक द स्कोर।
और ये
I
पॉइंट
agree.
शुरू से ही करना पड़ेगा ना, मतलब उनको बोलना पड़ेगा जो भी कोच है, हम वो लिबर्टी नहीं दे सकते कि आप अपने होम कंट्री में ही
हाँ
रहो, आप यहाँ हो
बिकॉज
तो आप यहाँ रहो।
6 महीना अक्षता तो वो रहते थे क्रोएशिया में, 6 मंथ जब वो यहाँ पर आते थे,
6 नहीं 8
एंड
महीने
6 से 8 महीने वहीं पे रहते।
मैंने तो 9 महीना सुना था।
बिकॉज उनका फैमिली भी वहीं पे था, एंड उनको पूछा भी जब जाता था, आप बोले आई डोंट वांट टू ब्रिंग द फैमिली इन इंडिया, तो वो जाते रहते थे। एंड इंडिया के जो गेम्स था उसके वजह से ही वाज, मतलब क्या ही हार्डली फॉलोड एनी गेम ऑफ आई लीग। इस बार उन्होंने आई लीग का जो प्लेयर्स को लिया है, डेविड को लिया है, एडमंड को लिया है, बेसिकली मेरे को जो लगा वो फैन प्रेशर से लिया है rather than
Yeah.
watching the game। मेरे को जो लगा था it was out of fan pressure ने कोई बोला होगा, that's why he took him। So I think मैं तो हैरान था। I saw Des Buckingham जब कोलकाता में when Mumbai was playing in Durand Cup, he went to see all the games, and I think last year also in I League he attended many games, and so that's why I see club coaches doing it, why not a national team coach? I think उनको तो ज्यादा करना चाहिए।
True. Shaggy has also
100%.
made such an
Just
important point.
yeah,
And
just
even on this, yes, sorry, Arun.
actually before I forget, more than 100 people watching. Please follow all the channels, be it SportsKhabri, be it Curious Harry, be it Seated Sports, Indian Food and Football. I guess Indian Food and Football is back. The football is not being cut. And of course, please arunfoot as well. And Hiren, today is, I guess, you remember, Hiren, you said, wow, you cross 10K, I cross 1K, there will be good news. Today is that day. Huh, Hiren?
Finally, the day is arrived.
So,
Finally, the
the
day
day
has
is arrived.
arrived, and then जो हमने क्या बोलते हैं कि मैंने तो एक हमारे यहाँ पे हनुमान दादा का एक मंदिर भी है, तो मैंने वो किया था उनसे, तो अभी मैं नेक्स्ट सैटरडे को जाऊंगा वो करने। क्या बोलते हैं
That's
कि
really nice.
Very nice. So that's that. Shaggy has a point. Akshata, if you want, you can read it and then we'll discuss
Yeah,
it.
get a coach, work with youth players more. We can't achieve much with the current Indian national team. Has to work with local Indian players who are not consistent at all in international players. It's actually so important right now. हम उस दिन बात कर रहे थे हिरेन और मैं कि अगर हम देखें तो यूथ लेवल पे भी हमें जो भी हमारे कोचेज हैं उनको 3-3 महीने के पीरियड के लिए रखा जा रहा है. So they also don't have like that kind of a clarity कि कितने दिन तक उनका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट रहेगा या नहीं. So it is so important for us to also focus on the youth team because yes, I mean current national team we can see that the talent is missing, but over here we have an opportunity to develop the skills of the players in a way that can benefit the senior national team eventually, both for the men's and women's.
And I agree partly with Shaggy because I think the problem with us is if I look at our current youth players, we have a problem at under 20, under 23, and potentially also at under 17 level. So if we're going to fall back on that, then we'll say, listen, whoever comes next 10 years, let's forget the senior national team. That is
हम लोग
Usman
सही
is saying-
comment पे क्या कर रहे हैं.
so therefore for me is always yes, when we talk under 23, under 20, under 17, we need to be talking about development. The end product is senior national team, and we cannot forget that. As good as bad as they are, we need to try and get the best possible result. So for me, that is the biggest challenge in this whole thing. To while you are developing the youth level football, your senior national team should be getting you results as well. And that is the toughest job on the national team coach. When Stephen took over, India were in the 170s. He worked on something, he worked on plans and this and that. The end product was AFC Asian Cup 2019. and he didn't get to work with a better team after that.
But sir,
Bob,
एक
Bob
चीज और
didn't.
है.
Bob also had to leave when Bob had some sort of a structure in regard to rebuilding the team. So that is for me very, very important. हाँ हिरण.
नहीं, मैं ये बोल रहा था कि आप कोच का जो टेन्योर है उसको भी आप उसी के बेसिस पे जज करोगे ना कि एशियन कप में आपकी परफॉर्मेंस कैसी है, आपने वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स में कैसा दिया, क्योंकि साफ इंटरकॉन्टिनेंटल तो हमको बाकी जो पुराने जितने भी कोचेस थे उन्होंने भी जितवाया है, ऐसा नहीं. आप स्टीफन कॉन्स्टेंटाइन को लोग क्यों याद करते हैं 2019 का जिस तरह से. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि एशियन कप में आपने नॉकआउट में क्वालिफाई करके, बट उस पोजीशन पे उन्होंने लाया और जिस तरह की उन्होंने वहां पे आप देखिए थाईलैंड के सामने और विन थी, उससे वो और लोगों को लगा कि नहीं भाई वी आर डूइंग समथिंग गुड. सो आई थिंक जज तो आपको उसी के बेसिस पे किया जाएगा ना कि आप साफ कितने जीते हो, इंटरकॉन्टिनेंटल कितने जीते हो. ईगो स्टिमिच का अगर आप टेन्योर देखेंगे 5 साल का, तो आप ये 2 बार आपको वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स का मौका मिला, 1 बार आपको एशियन कप खेलने का मौका मिला. सो आप वो उन सारी जगह पे आपने फेल किया है. सो
Our
डेफिनेटली जो
ranking
भी
was
कोच का टेन्योर
in
होगा.
90s. Now it's 125.
See, Akshata, the ranking for me doesn't count. I mean,
Yeah, I know, but
I always said it's a very nice thing. It's about judging things and all, ठीक है. But the ranking is most. I mean, the worst team in Europe most probably is better than the best team. Not the best, but most of the better teams in Asia or other parts of the world. So therefore, the rankings, it's a nice gimmick, because again, that FIFA football series was very interesting to see. You know, when different continents suddenly playing against each other. These are the realities. A new coach announcement, Sonam. I think let's digest first that Igor Stimac's history. I think that that conversation has been going
let's
for a
also
while.
see
Don't
a response from him. Now there will be a response from him.
100%. There'll
Should
be a
be.
response. There'll be
Yeah.
people doing a response for him, which is already happening. So for me, let's wait and see. And I would hope that the AIFF is in a position to appoint a coach, let's say by late July, early August, so that when the new coach comes in, that the new coach has the opportunity to watch a few games and then select his team for whatever is happening. I hope that we don't go back. I know that the AIFF still has a contract to do intercontinental and whatever, but normally I would say play 2 friendlies, then play 2 friendlies, and in the next window prepare for March 2025. The battle really starts. We're going to get in a tough group, so hopefully we can do that.
Yeah. But I don't know if you guys discussed this, but whoever the new coach is, I think discipline is something that will be
Yeah,
key for that coach to incorporate within the setup.
ये हमने बात की हमने.
Yeah. That is it. I'm just going through your comments and just looking at it.
Meanwhile, guys, like
So
the
I think-
stream. Whoever has it, like the stream.
Exactly. Like the stream, share the stream, subscribe to the respective channels. Results of Sumit says are the first thing to prioritize in our case. Currently, style of football and quality of it is a gradual process which follows results, because results will influence fans and market engagement. I think that's a very important, very, very important point. That only if we are successful to a certain level can we expect to get a bigger involvement and a bigger sort of potential growth in football. I think last year was a very, very good sign of that. There people did not care about style football, this, that, everything. Listen, India won 3 tournaments. Suddenly people were following Indian football who I know who never were interested in Indian football.
And I just want to add, I think it's important that we get these results, even if it is one big result in a big tournament like the Asian Cup. Like Hiren said, I remember when India beat Thailand, it became such a big deal. And a lot of people from my generation still remember that win. And they say, oh, you know what? Oh, that was crazy. Oh, that it happened. I think for a new wave of fans, we need that kind of a result. And results at a big stage. Like Hiren
And we
mentioned,
don't get that. Rahul, we don't
Exactly.
get that. That's our biggest problem. We rarely get that.
Yeah.
In fact, Unavada and Rahul, I think if you see the games which we lost also against UAE, the brand of football we played, there was an instinct that India was playing for at the biggest stage, and I think they were all over UAE. The brand of football what India played in 2009. From where it has gone right now, it's something. I think
नहीं आप सेंध आप 2011 की वो एशियन कप की टीम हमारी थी, वो चाहे भले ही वो 4-0 से वो हारी, बट वो अभी भी आप देखिए उनके मैचेस देखते हैं तो आपको लगता है कि नहीं भाई ये एक खेल रहे थे फुटबॉल, ये इसमें था वो जज्बा। तो वो जरूरी है आपके कि बिग स्टेज के ऊपर आप देखिए कि रिजल्ट है जो यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि राहुल ने भी बोला कि जो 4-1 वाला विन था, आपने जो बोला यूएई वाला, वो अभी भी फैंस को इसीलिए याद है कि आपकी टीम की ओर से ऐसा लग रहा था कि नहीं भी आप भी फुटबॉल में कुछ कर रहे हो, या फिर आप यहाँ पे वो दिखा रहे हो। जो नए फैंस है उनको, जो रेगुलरली देखते हैं उनको तो पता ही है, और जो नए फैंस उनको भी लगेगा कि नहीं भाई इससे कुछ हम होप कर सकते हैं विथाउट यू कैन क्रिएटिंग। और आप देखिए कि जैसे भी ईगो स्टिमिच यहाँ पे शेक हुआ, कैसे हम सबको एक होप मिली कि यहाँ पे नहीं हम आगे कुछ नेशनल टीम में कुछ हो सकता है, एटलीस्ट कुछ उम्मीद है। वो जो जब तक उम्मीद नहीं जगेगी तब तक नए फैंस आपको यहाँ पे स्टिक नहीं रहेंगे, फिर वो यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि वो थोड़े टाइम के लिए आएंगे चले जाएंगे। आपको उम्मीद को यहाँ पे अपने परफॉर्मेंस के बेसिस पे या बड़े स्टेज पे एटलीस्ट अगर आप टक्कर भी दे दोगे तब भी लोग यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि कुछ लोग कन्विंस हो जाएंगे। आप विथाउट आप अब देखिए जिस तरह से आपने एशियन कप में खेला, आई थिंक उस तरह की परफॉर्मेंस से यहाँ पे जो है भी वो भी जा रहे हैं, चले जाएंगे।
Yeah, I think that's interesting question from Akash Mishra. So, do you expect AIFF to show spine and stack Stimac? Quite surprising, going by what has transpired since the last year. Akash, I'll tell you that there were efforts in the background in March to get the coach sacked. I did even a video on that. Look at an old video which I did around that time after the Afghanistan loss. The same set of people have also had conversations with the AIFF top brass, and it seems to transpire this time around that again we have a battle for certain people on social media or on certain platforms. It seems other people within the federation have stood up and taken this decision, which is very interesting to see. It is not the ones who are fighting, so to say, who took that decision, but that decision was taken by other people within the federation. I think that's a very, very clear-cut sign to me that how things stand in the federation.
It does look like, like this is the second big thing that has happened this week. First, collective press release which spoke about age fraud, acknowledged age fraud, and wants to now address the issue. And now this, it just feels like maybe people within the Indian football ecosystem are also now really tired of how things have been functioning.
Now
these people have always been tired. Akshata, it's just, again, conversations on a lot of these matters have happened. I myself have raised a lot of issues with certain people in the past, and will raise certain issues with certain people. It is just that certain things are now in the public domain, which have not been in the public domain in the past. I think this is something which Indian football fans need to understand, and Hiren and I were talking about it yesterday. Sorry, you were part of it as well, where I say that very, very little information is actually in the public domain of what's happening behind the scenes. So therefore, to me, honestly, it did not come as a surprise that the coach no longer is there. I would have said in the last 3-4 days, I would have said maybe I wouldn't have expected for it to happen today, that it came out, but I wouldn't have expected to. I would have expected it to drag on. Mostly by the end of the month, something would have happened. Let's put it this way. My time frame was by 30th of June. Tata bye bye. So therefore, let's see. And Kumar is asking, we should hire a coach with success and experience in Asian national team circuit. Kumar, I've said this multiple times. To me, it is not about what the coach has done. It is about or where the coach has done what, but rather if the coach suits what we want to achieve. Right? The coach needs to understand Indian football realities. Igor Stimac's failure at the end of the day was because Igor Stimac was not willing to accept the realities of India and Indian football. Stephen, Bob did. That is, to me, that's the most important thing. I don't know what you guys think, but that to me is the most important thing. Whoever comes in needs to understand that wherever you have coached in the world, the Indian football national team is an own beast. Right? The AIFF is an own beast. And by then I've not even come to the media and the fans.
Good luck to the new coach, whoever he is.
So that is something which, I don't know. Shayan,
I wish I could say he or
think?
she. I mean, I have this genuine tendency to say he or she, but I mean, over here, it will be a he only.
देखिए सिंपल सी बात है, जो भी ये जो प्रोसेस में जो भी लोग होगा और जो भी डिसीजन मेकर है, वो अगर विथाउट थिंकिंग देयर पर्सनल गेयर और बैकडोर डील और व्हाटएवर द थिंग यू कॉल इट, उसके बिना अगर ऑनेस्टी के साथ अपॉइंटमेंट करेंगे थ्रू प्रोसेस के साथ विथ रियल क्लियर कट ऑब्जेक्टिव कि भाई इस तरह की हमारी ऑब्जेक्टिव से नेक्स्ट 2-3 इयर्स से नेशनल टीम के हेड कोच से, एंड उसके बेसिस पे यहाँ पे स्क्रूटिनी करेंगे कि भाई इस तरह का यहाँ पे जो भी एप्लीकेंट आया, देन आई थिंक चांसेस आर आप मोर देन आई वुड से 50% आप यहाँ पे डिसीजन में सही ही जाते हो, ज्यादा आप यहाँ पे उसमें गलत नहीं जा सकते, इतना मतलब गलत नहीं जा सकते जितना इगो स्टिमैच के साथ है। सो अगर ये लोग इतना भी ये लोग क्या बोलते हैं कि वो मैनेज कर लेंगे या फिर सही कर लेंगे, then I think जो भी whoever becomes the next coach, I think will give a better result at least. मैं नहीं बोला कि exceptional result दे देगा.
Hiren, the problem is you could choose the best coach for the system, but for it might not work. We all might say, whoever XYZ is a point, itna acha coach, brilliant, everyone is happy, and that coach might fail. वो भी हो सकता है.
हो सकता है, बिल्कुल. There is a possibility.
Again, the people said about Stephen Constantine. Shine and I have spoken about this a lot. अरे Stephen जाके अरे अच्छा हुआ Stimac आया suddenly वो ठीक बोल रहा है, he's saying the right things. अरे we should play possession football, we should be changing our football, blah blah blah. What is the end result after 5 years? Stephen was right and Stimac was wrong. So therefore again, we can talk for hours, days, months, years. If the right coach, again, it's a matter of timing, this, that, everything. There are multiple coaches who've gone here and there where it's not working. English FA, how can Gareth Southgate be still coaching at the Euros? I was just looking at his last 5 results at the Euros. England has scored 3 goals in 5 matches. That's the stats of England. With Harry Kane and co, right? So it's not an India specific problem. No, but this is the
इंग्लैंड के ऊपर आपकी टिप्पणी.
Yeah, अभी तो एक मैच हुआ है, we won the first game. Let's see.
It's not coming home with Sunshine.
But if I understood it right, England did not win the real match in Gelsenkirchen on the roads. They lost it badly from whatever.
नहीं, बट अक्षत ये आपका कैसा है कि आप लिवरपूल को सपोर्ट करते हो और यू आर हेटिंग इंग्लैंड, ये तो नाइंसाफी हुई. क्यों सर?
लिवरपूल के और प्लेयर बाकी टीम्स में ऐसा थोड़ी ना है कुछ.
नहीं, बट ये तो आप जिस कंट्री की लीग देख रहे हो उसी कंट्री को आप यहाँ पे मतलब हेट कर रहे हो. दैट्स द एक्सट्रीम स्टेप आई वुड से. सपोर्ट ना करो वो तो अलग चीज है.
No, but I don't.
बट ऐसा क्या हुआ कि आप इंग्लैंड को सडनली मतलब आपको लगता है कि इट्स नॉट कमिंग होम, मतलब आपको इतना ज्यादा लगता है कि
because I was one of the people who sort of hoped that it would and then I saw out the hope brought it all down.
But that's England. And at the moment it's nearly half time. The first upset could be coming. Belgium behind against Slovakia 0-1. So the big upset could bring. Pratik, good question. Can a single person coach improve Indian football? According to me, the simple answer is no. A coach can try and do as much. It needs the support of the system. It needs the support of the federation. It needs the support of the players. It needs the support of the clubs. All of them need to come together. Then only can we progress. Here in India, everyone is working against each other, and that's part of the problem. So from that perspective, I don't know what you guys think, but the coach is just one element. If the coach is not given the support, then nothing will, in my opinion, nothing can and nothing will happen, right? So therefore, these are realities. So
we need a gang. We need a proper gang in Indian football of good people now who want to bring along a change. It's not on one person's hand.
That's a point, right? And that's something. I think the hunger is a very important point, Prasanjit. To me, I've said this a few times. I don't know what you guys think, but I feel they're not the best players in the world, but they're not as bad as they played in the last few matches.
Why discipline and hunger both are not discipline and hunger both.
Exactly. Samat, no, I have a friend in Vietnam. He follows football. He said Vietnam Federation was very corrupted, but Park Hang-seo became very popular because he was genuine good coach. He demanded change. See, Samat, that's again a fan saying that, right? And I know certain people who worked in Vietnam, and they clearly praise the federation for having done certain things right. Again, you will not be able to weed out corruption completely, but the Vietnam Football Federation, with the development of the V League in a certain way, of development of the academy structure, of creating a national center of excellence, all of those things. Again, I think Indian football fans are going a little bit too gung ho about this coach. He's done a good job, but he's not. He alone cannot do that. Reality check, in my opinion. So let's see.
सर आपसे आपसे पूछा जाए कि वो would be your choice as a next head coach, कौन होगा?
I don't have a coach selection in my head at the moment. I want to see what kind of CVs come in, and then I can tell you who I think would be the suitable coach. I've got a few coaches who I'd like to see, but I don't think they will come to India. I mean, Irfan, for example, would be a top coach, but we will not be able to pay him. I mean, then the government of India would have to pay him, but then they'll be broke in 3 weeks.
I want to ask you one thing. Last time when the Indian coaches, there was a vacancy. I heard Mr. Goan Eriksson also applied for the position that time. Is what correct? Was it correct? And I have checked with somebody. And
Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Yes.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But he's again out of budget. And he has cancer now, so he's out. So Sven-Göran Eriksson. But you'll get that level of coaches applying. I mean, I'll check with Jürgen Klopp tonight if he's available. He's got time now, so maybe he wants to coach something which is very good now. I think after this bad stint in the last few months, Thomas Tuchel could be another one. So I've got some German coaches in my mind who could be fitting.
Thomas Tuchel तो यहाँ पे इंडिया में वो कुछ सेशन करने भी आया था ना, वो केरला में या फिर कर्नाटका में.
Thomas Tuchel would be good for AIFF and for the players. They will not have one safe day. One safe day. Usko itna bamboo dega. You've seen that at Chelsea. You've seen that at PSG. You've seen that at Bayern and Dortmund. He is a very difficult guy, but he's demanding. ऐसे आदमी चाहिए. Demanding, and he doesn't fear. Listen, Steven never feared the AIFF. Hard time demand करते थे. Right? So that is what we need. So Murali is very happy. Okay. Make the contract remuneration more result-oriented, not fixed salary. Sumit, then you will not get a coach. Nice idea. But
target achievement. So we are target achievement वाले company से क्या?
Why would हमको coach की जरूरत ही नहीं है.
Igor Stimac last 12 months would be paying money back to the AIFF. So,
But Indian football fans within Indian football fans also there's a community, small, choti, who support this. But today it feels like the entire community has come together to support and celebrate.
Honestly, after a long time, I think the Indian football fans has that you can say that happiness in their faces. मतलब आगे जो भी हो, future में जो भी कोच आए अच्छा हो खराब हो.
आज रात हम सब सोएंगे अच्छे से.
आज सोने की रात नहीं, आज सेलिब्रेशन की रात.
अच्छा तुम तो तुम्हारा फ्लैट में नहीं हो ना, तुम्हारा which you share with Shayan ना, otherwise we three would have come over there ना.
हाँ, नहीं तो होता वहाँ पे पार्टी. सैन भाई भी अब वहाँ पे आ गए ना दिल्ली, नहीं तो वहाँ वो होता पार्टी.
Also, guys, I just want to also put it out again. Whoever is watching, please do not right away believe in all the reports that you're hearing about compensation and all. Just wait a couple of days. There will be more clarity.
Yeah, that's an important thing. I think that there's a lot of speculation going on. And once again, Akshata likes to say again, 131 people watching at the moment. First, like the stream, share the stream, and please share all the channels. Rahul is there from SportsKhabri. Irene is Curious Harry, Indian Food and Football of Shayan's, and Seated Sports of Akshata, and also please follow arunfoot.
Senda, आज फूड में फिर स्पेशल क्या है? आज तो Igor Stimac जा रहा है, तो आज तो कुछ स्पेशल होना चाहिए फूड में. What's the special dish? अरे भाई आफ्टर द डिनर भी चलता है, एक डिश तो हो जाता है, उसमें क्या है, इतना तो एक साइड वो रहेगा, कोने में पड़ा रहेगा.
वो मैं लाइव के बाद बताता हूं कौन सा डिश लेंगे.
अच्छा.
That's an interesting one. Again, Murali has an interesting point. Does bring another coach change Indian football unless grassroots becomes strong? Murali, I think the question here is a different one. Grassroots and youth football is something which we need to strengthen. Coaching, we need to strengthen. But our team might not be the best team in the world. But the coach needs to get the maximum out of the players. And at the moment, the coach has not been able to get the maximum out of the players. That's my only point. If the players, let's say the level is 100, I want that coach to get 105, 110% out of those players. And that will give us a little better results maybe. If that would be done, I think we would have gone through this group. If you saw the players' performance in the ISL, some of them were at zero level of what they played in ISL. So that's my challenge, right? And again, someone wants to go for Lobera. Shreyam wants Willy Sanyol. Willy Sanyol, we can't pay. Willy Sanyol is on a higher salary. Willy is on a higher salary.
बट सर ये एक इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा कि अगर एप्लीकेशन निकलता है तब उस टाइम पे आईएसएल से कौन से कोचेस अप्लाई करते हैं? बिकॉज़ मनोलो मार्केस ने इससे पहले यहाँ पे इंटरेस्ट दिखाया है.
If you are an ISL coach with a fixed salary and you're happy with whatever you're getting across the full year, I don't think the ISL coaches will actually go for the national team, knowing that the financial problems that the federation is in. Right? And so for me, it's a difficult one because again, Gendrolian says a very important point. Guys, we should know Stimac alone is not responsible. Sack Kalyan Chobe and many more. Again, if sacking of Kalyan will sort things, I don't know. I think that's going to be an interesting one because Kalyan today has been announced as the BJP candidate for the Maniktola assembly seat in West Bengal. So therefore, then the question arises, is there a conflict of interest? Because according to the sports code, you can't be a politician and a sports administrator. So that's, again, let's see what happens with that. That we'll discuss another day because I think, we've
automatically what he is demanding is done ना. Top brass चला गया. अगर ऐसा हुआ तो मतलब the ex-general secretary is no more there.
But the question is not, for me, it's an interesting one because again, the matter is in the Supreme Court and all those things which theoretically could lead, to a suspension.
वो आ जाएंगे वापस, कोई इशू नहीं है. मानिकतला से वो फिर वापस आ जाएंगे.
I know, but I didn't want to say that. There are certain ex-footballers who try to be politicians and lose every time. But again, that's. And also, you and Hiren consistently conveyed the right side of Indian football. Let it be harsh, but truth. How do you feel after the sacking, sir? We are very happy. Hiren, how are you feeling?
I am really happy, but I'm you can say not satisfied 100%.
और क्या चाहिए तुमको सेटिस्फेक्शन? अभी उसको जान से मार डालो. और क्या सेटिस्फेक्शन चाहिए तुमको? यार अभी भी तुम खुश नहीं हो? क्या तुमको क्या चाहिए? उसको मार डालो.
I will
मार ही डालो तुम लोग.
नहीं अरे मैं ओवरऑल पर्सपेक्टिव की बात कर रहा हूँ. इगोर स्टिमिच की एक मात्र डिसीजन से आप क्या बोलते हैं उसके एक पर्सपेक्टिव से बोलोगे देन 100%. बट ओवरऑल इंडियन फुटबॉल के पर्सपेक्टिव से इट्स नॉट कि भाई सिर्फ इगोर स्टिमिच के सेक हो जाने से सब कुछ सही होगा. तो उस सेंस में मैंने बोला भाई. बाकी तो सही अभी मतलब ये एक बात सही है कि मतलब अभी शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए तो खुशी है. मतलब जो इंडियन फुटबॉल में वो भी नसीब नहीं थी इससे पहले. इट्स ऑलवेज और मैं और अरुण सर आज ही बात कर रहे थे. लास्ट में हमने बात की और वो हमने एंड भी उसी नोट पे किया कि इट्स ऑलवेज नेगेटिव. हम भी थक चुके हैं नेगेटिव बोल के और ये प्रॉब्लम बोल के. तो फाइनली उसके जैसे ही खत्म किया ना उसके तुरंत बाद एक पॉजिटिव न्यूज आई. सो
अच्छा
अभी चैलेंज
अभी तो सही का वेरी वैलिड पर हैरी भाई को अभी कोच बनाना चाहिए इंडियन नेशनल टीम का.
हाँ ऐसे ये लोग अगर ऐसे अपॉइंटमेंट करते रहे तो फिर तो नेक्स्ट बेड़ा गर्क ही है.
Exactly. Arindam asks, what do you think about a project-oriented coach? I hate the word project when it comes to actually a national team as well as a club. For me, top level football, national team and club level, yes, you can try and build, but project is I don't know. I feel it's cheating by saying that, because you're trying to buy time, and you should be judged as early as possible if you can deliver or not. So for me, I don't know. Project again. Senior national team. I want results. I want results, and I want an understanding of that.
एक चीज सर और भी है कि करंट मॉडर्न फुटबॉल इतना फास्ट पेस हो गया है और इतनी ज्यादा आपको आप देखिए कोचेस की जो डिमांडें होती है विद यू कैन से कि ऑल दी थिंग्स जो डिमांड करते हैं फिजिकल एस्पेक्ट पे या फिर टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट के स्काउटिंग के एस्पेक्ट पे आप हर कोई चीज उसको आप टॉप लेवल क्लब आप प्रोवाइड करता है एक भी चीज ऐसी होती नहीं है कि जो यहाँ पे वो डिमांड करे और उसको ना दे सब कुछ उनको दिया जाता है देन डेफिनेटली द एक्सपेक्टेशन सामने उतनी ही होगी कि आप जल्द से जल्द हमको रिजल्ट दो एंड इसीलिए आप देखिए कि देयर इज ए आपने जैसे पहले भी बोला था कि देयर आर ए वेरी फ्यू कोचेस नाउ की जो इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे भी अब अभी ऐसे है कि जो लंबे टाइम से एंड क्लब लेवल पे तो बहुत ही अब कम टाइम बन चुका है कि यहाँ पे काफी कोचेस हमको यहाँ पे मैक्सिमम टू सीजन तो बहुत ही कम कोचेस हमें देखने को मिलते हैं सो अब ये जो फास्ट पेस्ट है क्योंकि पहले के टाइम पे शायद वो सारी फैसिलिटीज नहीं थी तो आपको थोड़ा सा एडजस्ट होने में और सब कुछ करने में और टाइम लगता था बट नाउ तो एवरीथिंग यू हैड आप चाहे उस क्लब को उस प्लेयर को कभी खेलते हुए भी नहीं देखा है लेकिन आपके पास 5-10 मिनट में सारा उसका वो आ जाएगा एंड यू हैव यू कैन से कि मेक अ प्लान एंड एवरीथिंग सो आई थिंक वो जो डिमांड आपकी जिस तरह की है उस तरह से एक्सपेक्टेशन भी होगी ऑब्वियसली सो आई थिंक रिजल्ट डेफिनेटली आपको उतनी वो कम टाइम में या फिर शॉर्ट टाइम में डिमांड किए जाते हैं
Pratik says Harry Bhai is getting sleepy. I think Pratik, the thing is,
आज सोने का दिन नहीं है भाई
Hiren has not slept for a very, very long time properly. So I guess he will have a good night's sleep. So
ये बात आपने सही बोली
at least give him that tonight. हाँ, थोड़ा सा उसको, you know, Hiren has tomorrow morning you will see new energy in his daily update video. वो तो नया वाला energy आएगा. हाँ Hiren?
Yes, 100%. Tomorrow will be a lot more, you can say, positive approach and energy to hoga, bilkul hoga.
I have a question for all of you. When the contract is set or when the appointment is made of the new head coach or in general of any head coach or manager, so ये वाली चीजें जो होती हैं, like the things that they demand for, every little thing is mentioned in the contract, or is it mentioned somewhere in writing, or it's just a verbal understanding or a mutual understanding between the two parties involved?
See, I don't know what the contract of the AIFF with Igor Stimac or any other coaches, but for me is normally you will have a general contract about length, termination clauses, what do you have to follow, what do you have to do, and again it will talk about money, and then you have an annexure, which annexure says these are the things, these are potential demands to the federation from the coach, and this is what the coach has to deliver, so to say, to the federation. So that would be, my structure of a proper contract. Vineet says the result is a combination of tactics and decision making, as where Igor has failed. I guess those are twos, and there are other areas as well. But again, let's not we've talked so much about why he has failed or why he was failing. That is something, that is something. Deepak says, congrats, everyone. It's so nice to see you all back together. Yeah, I'm very happy to see all these faces as well. Maybe not Shayan's, but again, that has different reasons. But the rest, I'm very happy to see.
Now that he's going, if you could just talk about one thing that maybe he did right.
I think,
or one thing that may be good thing, a good farewell message, a kind farewell message, if we could get.
See, the point is that I think I said it the other day when we were doing our live after the Kuwait game, that I felt he was for the first time. I felt post match he was relatively honest. Sorry, in Kolkata after Kuwait, not after Qatar, after Kuwait in Kolkata, he was very honest in saying, we were not good enough today, and we were lucky to get away with a draw. So therefore, from that perspective, I feel that I think he was also realizing that time was up. So that would be something. I don't know. Anything else becomes difficult at the moment. I would have to think more seriously. I don't know. Others?
I think for me it's sorry.
No,
I was just saying, for me it was probably the SAF championships. Because the fact that I was in Bangalore, and I think at least he's given us some I'd like to say that it was a good memory. I think the entire tournament, the vibe around the city, the wins, of course, they were close games. So yeah, I think that's something I will obviously associate with Igor Stimac because it happened during his tenure. So I think that.
Shan?
I would say when he started off, I think in 2019, with the win against Thailand in Kings Cup, and I think first game which we lost to, I think there was a Caribbean country. I think we lost 3-1 in the first game.
Curacao.
It was the
Curaçao,
first game. We all lost 3-1, and after that we defeated Thailand. After that, against Oman, I still remember in Guwahati, India played one of the best brand of football. Till 82nd minute, we were leading somehow. The we were not able to close the game. And again, after 5 days after that, a goalless draw against a mighty Qatar team with all the full strength squad of Qatar was fielded, where India was able to do the game. I think his first 6 months were the better 6 months. I think if you analyze his 4 5 years, I think first 6 months as an Indian coach, he did, I think, fairly well. After that, somehow promises. His approach towards Indian football, what I felt was not realistic. Firstly, and he wanted India to play in a way which Indian players can't play, and that realistic approach was missing out on his part. He should have understood by being a coach of 4 and 4. I think he was one of the longest serving coach in recent times, 5 years, and I think when he's going, I think better luck to him. I think hopefully he does better for himself and for his family, and hopefully that his family members who are not well for few days, for his brother is not keeping well for many times. I think he has his family issues. I hope that everything comes in his way and he has a better life after leaving Indian football. Thank you.
A nice statement here from Showcast. Seems like now even Akshata have started getting deep into Indian football to show support. Need more creators like you guys who really shows and was the hard truth about Indian football. Thanks a lot. And we try, or we have tried, or we try always to be as honest as we can. And General says, now so Stimac is alone not responsible for the downfall of Indian football. There are many people who are involved in it. So why only sack Stimac? What about others? Genjoy, the point here is that the coach is the weakest link in such a structure always. So from that perspective, and yes, these people appointed him, but these people were not deciding on the lineup at the end of the day. So if we want to talk about just the national team and not talk about the other things in the AIFF, then we can say, you know what, it is the fault of the coach. So from that standpoint, I think that is something, and we'll have to see what happens next, because again there is a lot of motion, a lot of things happening, and the PR machinery is quite strong at the moment, and I think the PR machinery for a lot of people is not working for them. People have seen through it. I think we've been saying a lot of things for quite a while, and it seems to me that
एक चीज सर जो मेरे को एक चीज जो मेरे को सबसे पॉजिटिव लगी इसमें कि आई थिंक मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द इंडियन फुटबॉल फैंस इज एबल टू सी द रियल. आपने जैसे बोला कि जो लोग पीआर गेम करते थे उनका रियल फेस पता चला लोगों को कि वो व्हाट्स देयर मोटिव्स. आई थिंक दैट इज द बिगेस्ट पॉजिटिव कि वो उनको एटलीस्ट ब्लाइंडली तो फॉलो नहीं करेंगे. मेरे को ये लगता है still there are some couple of you can say key people, maybe 10%, 50%, 20%, but I think majority football fans now get the idea ki what they are doing, why they are doing. So I think ये पूरे ड्रामे में उनके फेसेस यहाँ पे रिवील हुए कहीं ना कहीं.
I think everybody.
मेरा जो ईगो स्टिमिच का जो मेरा जो ईगो स्टिमिच का मेमोरी बेस्ट है एज ए पर्सन, तो आई वुड नॉट you can say कि want to remember, but as a footballing game wise, I think that Oman game or that 70 minute, I think that was the best football under him, I would say. So for me that is the best thing under him happened in the last 5 years.
Rahul?
Yeah, for me it was tough.
उन्होंने तो बताया था.
Yeah, so okay. So you stay with stuff. Akshata?
I just feel somehow that he, in his own way, unintentionally also created more awareness about Indian football. We talk more about Indian football. I see a lot of content creators now talk more about Indian football who used to not talk about Indian football, the European content creators, football content creators. So, in some ways, I do give him that credit because he was very vocal on social media, which I was not in favor of, considering that he holds a position in the AIFF and he held a position in the AIFF and he was an employee of the organization. But I do feel that in a way he's created more awareness. वो होता है ना, mutual dislike for someone sometimes brings people together. So I think he did that.
But Hiren and I were talking a little earlier about it. My feeling is it seems like many more people are following Indian football. I think that there is a lot more interaction happening, but are really more people following Indian football? And that is something where someone stated earlier today that 200 million people are following Indian football. And you cannot have a study and saying, why 200 million? This is like an exit poll of saying how many people follow Indian football, right? So therefore, and therefore for me, it's good. But on the other side, it's also who are you following, why are you following, who is saying what? Because again, some people are being misused. The subscriber base, the user base is being misused to spread certain narratives, which I again have been very clear in talking about things. So therefore, hope that it now, with at least this saga ending, let's see what the next sagas are, and so that's something which is there. Ayush says, Ranavu, you should join AFF. No, thank you very much. Because as Shine says, फिर show कौन करेगा? Yeah, thank you, Shine. I would then allow you to host the show, no, Shine? That would have been your option. And the question for Hiren and Pratik, from Pratik, for Hiren and Akshita, where do you want to see Indian football in next 4 years? Okay, we three can leave the channel. We will come back tomorrow afternoon. ठीक है? Huh? Shayan and Rahul, let's go. Leave them alone. Tata, bye bye. Usko bolne do. Who wants to go first?
I really want us to focus more on not more, but I want our federation to put equal amount of focus on the Indian women's football team as well, and the youth team of the women's football, because there is a lot of potential there, and unfortunately we are so occupied by what is happening with the men's team that we do not focus on what's happening in the women's team. So I do hope, and there is a lot of potential. हम हमेशा कहते हैं कि हमारी women's team World Cup पहले खेलेगी men's team से, but over the last few months we have seen the performance drop down. We need a foreign coach there as well. We need a better system there as well. So yes, men's football, Hiren can talk about, but I want us to be in a much better position when it comes to women's football.
I think
and
in
a much
men's
organized
football,
sorry.
then in men's football, I think after 4 years, I think I want to see in a same situation which we were in. You can say कि in this maybe before the starting of the round 2, कि जहाँ पे एक उम्मीद थी कि round 3 में qualify कर पाएंगे. So in 2028, I want to see India again in that position कि where we can compete for a better, you can say कि with better performances and result to qualify for round 3. And let's hope so in 2028 we will qualify. So I want to see national team round 3 qualification in 2028. अच्छा सर नहीं है, can new Indian coach will be able to handle AFF politics and team politics? Who will be better coach in your opinion? That is the challenge, I think, Sandra.
Challenge actually. We need somebody who can manage both the things.
No, Hiren is not foreign. We need someone like Kratky, not Kratky himself. Kumar says, I'm not talking about style and philosophy for playing. Forget that. We should select a coach based on the strength of our player. We know our weakness that we cannot play possession football. Kumar, I think the thing is with the coach, I feel again, I want someone with a clean slate, because if Manolo comes in, if Roka comes in, you will see that a bias towards, let's say, Hyderabad and BFC and all that stuff will come in, and there will be those suddenly conversations come in which are unnecessary for. I think it's clean slate for Indian football, in my opinion. I might be wrong, but I feel clean slate most probably is what was most probably help us the most at this stage. I don't know.
Also, I also have one more question, which is that which is that when we when we hire a new coach, do we just hire one individual, or we also focus on the kind of team that person has? They do have their own teams as well, right?
Obviously, I think.
So
I think
how much
इनके
of
साथ जो
that?
गोलकीपिंग कोच थे वो भी वापस जाएंगे ना $5,000 वाले.
They're all going. The whole coaching staff. There will be
हाँ.
complete revamp again from in regard to the foreigners. Those 3-4 guys who are there. That will happen, and then we'll see. That is something. Hari has.
Sorry, but a follow-up question on this. But when we hire a coach, and that person already is sort of inclined towards a goalkeeping coach for instance, do we actually listen to the choice that they have, or we are sometimes adamant? What is the process that is usually followed in world football?
See, the last time we did it in 2019, things were different than they are in 2024. Nowadays, a coach comes with, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people as part of his coaching staff. That happens around the world. So when you see, let's say Vincent Kompany is coming to Bayern Munich, he's bringing along a whole armada, literally. I mean, the joke nowadays is, teams used to travel in one team bus. Now 2 team buses travel because the coaching staff has become too big, or the support staff around a team has become too big. So therefore, that's an interesting one to see, because Igor Stimac actually had a lean group he had a fitness coach and a goalkeeping coach. He did not have a foreign assistant coach. He did not have, this coach, that coach. So therefore, that's going to be an interesting one, and to see what. That will also be a defining factor of, the conversations happen, that the foreign coaches will say, listen, I want to bring in this, and then it will not happen, right? It is, again, take Liverpool, for example. Liverpool was very critical at a certain level of stage, and that Jurgen Klopp wanted certain people, Germans, coming into the system. I remember that the female nutrition coach who came in from Bayern, people were very skeptical about that, right? So therefore, but
Belgium equalizer.
Standard back, Lukaku equalizer.
Yeah,
So therefore, it's going to be interesting to see in an Indian context. So let's see how it happens.
One more question. Sorry, one more question.
Why this suddenly this interest?
Oh, Lukaku offside.
Kya?
It should be offside.
Oh lol. Sad.
Lukaku, always unlucky.
It's one moment.
It's very, very, very close goal.
But the point is, the guy is only 9 goals behind Sunil Chhetri, just for a statistical piece of info.
He won't score 9 goals.
What? The goal stands. It's not offside.
I think it's a very close goal. I think it's a.
To me, it looked clear offside. The 2 shots that I saw, it looked clear offside. But I might be wrong. No, it's not been given.
Let's see.
And the Slovakia fans are celebrating. I'm sorry. Akshata, first for you. Akshata, it's the hope that kills you from Hari. So that's for you. Chetan says, I believe only ISL coach can save us. That is where, Chetan, I disagree. I think an ISL coach is not the answer to our problems. Hari wants Peter Sagat. Boom wants Peter Sagat. Gaurav says we should wait for Euro and Copa America to end. There will be a lot of coaches available. Gaurav, I think that's not the level of coaches that we want. That's the other thing. There will be some high. These coaches will not come. I mean, compared to that, Igor Stimac was quite cheap.
Quite cheap.
Boom Bruma has a good name. Zidane. Yeah, Zidane is available. Let's check with Zizou if Zizou is willing to come to India and work for, I don't know, his daily wage at Real Madrid for a month or something. Right?
I was like, abhi Arunva payment ki baat kar rahe the, they charge so much, and now we are like, how?
Throw in names. Here is another one. Ange Postecoglou. Yeah, surely he'll leave Tottenham and come to India and work for 1/100th of the salary he gets at Tottenham or something. Aajao, guys. Let's have fun. Supriya wants me to share my coach. Supriya, I'm not. Again, let me digest that Igor Stimac no longer is India coach, and then I'll tell you a few maybe in the
Let's
coming
wait.
days I'll have a few ideas and see, and that's why.
I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised.
This is the same question. This is the same question when I was doing the stream. People keep asking, who should be your choice as the next coach. So that's why I also asked, because I think let the applicant come and let's see who applied for it, and let's see who will be in the final scrutiny. Then we can make a better choice. I think.
But while
And
अभी
this
हम
is
celebrate कर रहे हैं, what if like 2-3 days बाद there's a Twitter post coming that he's back or he has to, there's some issue that has happened. कुछ भी हो
Trevor
सकता है.
Sinclair would be a great choice.
Shivam says we need someone who
He is
knows
the
us from
set
basic
pieces.
and has been creating resonance which players can follow easily. I think Khalid is one of the best for this job. See, Shivam, and there I would totally disagree with you, because again, who knows us from the basic? Does Khalid Jamil knows us from the basic? And if that logic, there is only one guy who can do it. That's Renedy, most probably. The rest don't know it from the basics, because they've not worked at grassroots level, at youth level. No? If that is your logic, and that's the problem, right? It doesn't work. For me, at least, it doesn't work. Amit Shaw says Carlos Kudrat. I guess then Cheyenne will be unhappy, so we can't take that. Guys, I think we all missed those nonsense comments that Igor used to make after every match. Yeah, that might be something that we need to, think about it. Do you think foreign coach doesn't know the reality of Indian football? Murali, do the Indian coaches know the reality of Indian football? Do the Indian football administrators know the reality of Indian football? Do we know the reality of Indian football? Let's make it very generic. I think it's very difficult to know the real realities of Indian football, because if you want to know the real realities of Indian football, then you have to be most probably on the road for most of the year. Because India is so big, so vast. You can say you know Indian football. No, there's nobody in the world who knows Indian football. It is impossible. Maybe Cheyenne does, but the rest doesn't. No? Okay. Amit Shaw wants Hiren Bhai as next coach. Let's see. Pratik has a very interesting question. How did the Mumbai City FC players manage to win against Mohan in Kolkata when everyone expected them to lose, yet show no confidence when the same players supported people supported them against Kuwait? Pratik, it's not just about who thought they're going to win or lose. I think the players don't care, and if it's 50, 60, 70,000 against them in the stadium, for the players, it's also that you've got the foreigners in there, right? The quality of foreigners in there. And therefore, for me, therefore, the national team has been a problem, and I hope things, let's see what happens. Beneath says my Instagram was full of Igor sacked everywhere. This is a good question. Ridaya, sir, did you know about Igor sacking, or was it shocker for you guys too? So I go through you. I start with, ma'am, were you surprised when this news came out?
Yeah. I was not expecting it today, to be honest.
Rahul?
I mean, I don't know if it was expected today or whatever, but again, I was not surprised that he was sacked, because we didn't make round 3. So yeah.
Shan?
Shan, you are on mute.
So I was a bit surprised because I was not expecting it to be happen so soon. I was expecting this to, I think, 7-8 days more time. I think it should take before this arrives. But suddenly it came. I think it's good. This kind of shockers are good. Some shockers are good for life. This kind of shockers are, I think it's good thing. What is happening?
Sushmit is saying Rahul, I've heard he's going to be the next coach of VFC.
Oops.
It's probably
Rahul is running for cover. Rahul's running for cover.
I really am. The fans won't have it.
Gaurav, if you want to know what style of football, just watch the show. I think we discussed it multiple times. There is no question, in my opinion, of talking about it. Mazhar, hi Mazhar, good to see you back. The limbo will get deeper now. We've always been in one. I think that's going to be interesting because now the open blame game, and now how are you going to save this? How much is the payoff for the coach? I think every minute, every day, there's going to be news, breaking news, this guy, that guy. And I've realized that most of the information that is coming out, even from serious media organizations, has been wrong in the last few days on Indian football.
Yeah.
It's like the exit polling of the Indian elections. It's that kind of scenario that people are so off. Because if you ask me with the whole thing, as I said, I thought that the coach would most probably go by the end of June. That's my feeling, But again, it is something which has happened faster, and which shows that there are certain dynamics in the federation also, which is again, let's see what head rolls or what cases or other things are done in and around, and the thing is, Jirat Nus in Airco Shatori, I don't think so. Or Navasar for AIFF present, Koshik, thanks a lot, but no, thank you. AIFF Vision 2047 should also be sacked. We are living in 24 and we are talking about 24, so total structure should be changed. Shumolo, I think that to have a vision is not wrong, but timelines, realistic approach, and how you implement the plan looks lovely. It's a PR document, but how are we getting to 2047 with the success? Top 8 in Asia and all that kind, or top 4 or whatever the thing is, right? So I don't know what you guys think. I think that's the most important thing, that timelines are good. Accountability again, I've used this word, Hiren, we were talking about accountability earlier. Accountability is most probably the most important thing. What do you guys think?
Yeah. The only
100%,
good thing that
100%.
happens from this is कि वो हर month कुछ दिनों में महीनों में वो एक document आ जाता है online that this is the
Magazine.
the sort of वो magazine आ जाती है कि this is the path that we are taking. But even the document in itself, when it came out, it was told that it's just कि वो एक broad आपको structure दे दिया गया है, इसके अंदर कैसे how to go about it वो अलग से आएगा या पता नहीं क्या था वो कभी दिखा नहीं कि how आपने बना दिया एक structure, but उसको कैसे आप adapt करोगे, कैसे follow करोगे, वो एक step by step plans होने चाहिए चीज़ों के, वो हैं या नहीं. We had one like the biggest name of Indian football, Sunil Chhetri. He has resigned. Sorry, he has
retired is the word.
Retired, my bad.
Resigned.
He retired. And उसमें वो document में clearly था that we'll come up with more heroes or sheroes in Indian football. Where are these heroes and sheroes? Who are gonna be the people who will put us on the global map?
Akshata, you're there, so we don't need any other heroes. No, we're fine. Yeah.
मैं अकेली क्या करूँगी? I need more people around.
But yeah, those are the realities. I think some of you want to leave. I look at Hiren. Hiren has to sleep. Has after had a good sleep. So guys, thanks a lot for joining in. I'll just try and take some more comments and try to finish this off. But just before I finish, sum up your feeling on this evening of 17th of June 2024. Hiren, you start.
I think after the last year, I would say SAF win. I think this is something to cheer up and to look into. You can say as a more, there is a more hope in the future. There will be some good result for national team. There will be some good moments to cheer for national team. So that's the good thing. And I think at least the first step have been taken, as you earlier sir mentioned that you are expecting that might be 30th June. There will be December. But I think they're taken up very quickly. So I think there is a little bit hope that there are some people who is working for the Indian football, and they want to genuinely do right thing, and they taken a decision. So I think that is the hope we can build on from here. And I think after a long time, after particularly the humiliation in Asian Cup against the Afghanistan, against the Qatar and everything, I think this is something we can, as Indian football fan, I think we can cheer up.
Agree. Shan?
It is something which has happened now, and I think we should be happy with the way that Igor has left us. But I think many things also need to be to look into. I think currently the way AIFF is working, I think only changing of Igor is not enough for Indian football to revive. I think many other things are also important. This is something which is very short term, and we'll get happy by changing of the coach. But with that also, we need few more other things related to that. That also needs to change, because what I see now, we don't have an age group team playing on a regular basis, and that's a big worrying factor for me. Already, if you see under 17 team is not played, not as after that tournament, AFC Cups. Under 17 team has not played a single game, and what I see, under 23 teams are quite neglected, under 20 teams are neglected, and I think youth leagues are not happening in that ways. So I think those are the things which we should look into. This is something which is very short term, because see, Unaoda and Akshata, Hiren and Rahul, everything, everybody should agree that one thing is that whatever you do with the national team, senior national team coach, but it's all about your grassroots, how you develop football from there. That is very much important. This is something very short term, what we are discussing right now. So that is something which we need to look into, and I think better since prevails in AIFF. I only hope for. I think uh, I hope that AIFF gets a president who is really serious about football, and who gives more time to football rather than any other thing. I think that is very important.
Sure.
Rahul?
Yeah, I'm just going to tap into the Gen Z side of me and say this is a very vibey evening. So we say vibey when it seems like it's going well. I see a lot of palm on the face. But yeah, I think
Protest.
no, I think yeah, it's good because I think we had to move on from this, and finally we have, and yeah, I hope whoever comes in. First thing, I think what I personally look for from any coach, be it my club or national team, whatever, accountability. Be responsible for your actions. If you're not done well, like on that day, just say you haven't done well. That's fine. Like it's not a big deal. I think basic, like at least what I've seen again in football, even with Arsenal, with BFC, the good teams only come up when their moral values and base values are all aligned and they're good, which is just be responsible, be hardworking.
Where
Yeah.
does Arsenal come in when we talk about good teams?
No, I mean, right now they're doing well. I mean, I have no complaints with the Arsenal team. I mean, so yeah, I mean, like again, like just to say what Mikel Arteta has done, he's remove the big ego guys. Like if somebody is showing having somebody does have a big ego, it's fine. Just put them to the side, but get the right guys in the group. Mentality, commitment, dedication, all of that. So yeah, basic stuff. If that's right, I think we'll be fine.
Just to answer this question, why would any coach want to come to India? Don't they know about the state of our football? I think that, as I said, that while we're talking, I've got a few more WhatsApp messages from people. So this is made already global news that Stimac is gone, and the question now is can we
Some
coaches?
any exciting, sir?
Yeah, there are
Any-
some
any-
exciting names in there, but we will not be able to pay these guys, so it makes no sense to try and reach them. So therefore, yeah, let's wait and see. But on that front, I think it is a start. This is a battle has been won. One person has been removed, but the war hasn't been won to improve Indian football in the long run. And to me, that is, I think, the most important thing. So that's why that is something which is very important. Akshata, I missed you. Huh? Sorry.
No, I mean, I'm happy. I'm just sort of still a little hesitant in celebrating and going all out there, because I feel that till the time it's like proper, abhi ho gaya hai, but there might be some reactions from Igor's side also. And also, as you guys already mentioned, that it's one step in the right direction. There's a long road ahead of us. There are a lot of changes that are required in the system. And please, guys, I've already said this multiple times already in the stream, but do not just blindly believe anything that you're hearing. Don't I mean, people are just speculating. Most people don't even verify information before they share it. So just give it a couple of more days before you come to any sort of conclusions about how someone was sacked or what is the compensation or anything. Things will come out in the open eventually. So don't fall for speculations, please.
Agree. Thank you guys for joining in. I'll try and answer a few of the comments which are there. And I guess we'll be talking about it tomorrow as well, the day after. While Belgium, after now 73 plus minutes, are still losing to Slovakia. So the first upset seems to be building here at the Euros as well. So therefore, thanks again. Akshata for joining, Hiren for joining, Shine for joining, and Rahul for joining. I think it was worth that we came together as a complete team after quite a while. All five
Full
of us,
house.
full house, and again, let's keep on talking. Thank you guys. Yeah. So
Thank you.
if you want to leave, I'll try and answer
Good
some
night.
of your
Good night,
other.
sir.
Good night. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
So therefore, I'll try and answer those. I'll just add, wait 1 second, let me do this. Yeah, this is something which looks nice. Uday says, 3 cross loss, who's responsible for that? Every penny important in football. That's one of those questions which needs to be answered, when he says, I'm now getting emotional. Shomons Bablula ke coach kora hok, amra Asian Cup jitbo, Bablula can approach Raghunanthi. Again, a little banter from the Bengali side of things. Okay, guys, now he's gone. Wish him all the best. Yes, certainly. I don't have personally anything against him. I'm just, I had something against him as the India coach. Why should I have something personally against Igor Stimac? Monak says, modified vision 2047, step 1, stacks Stimac done. Step 2, step down, Kalyan pending, rest of the steps. Interesting. What's next for Indian football? I think not everything is sorted. I think that's something which needs to be looked at and discussed. I think a lot of things are still to be done, and so that's why, yeah. So therefore, for me, let's wait and see what really happens. Shumula says, don't know why Baichung Bhutia is completely silent for many months and not talking about anything about Indian matches or other things about Indian football. Shumula Baichung has been focusing on his sort of political career. He was busy with elections over there, and I guess that's the reason why Baichung has not said anything. Can you, coach, be able to handle AIFF deposits? Who will be better coach in your opinion? Free thinker. I'm not talking about any coach at the moment, so therefore let's wait and see what happens. Peter Segat, some of you have mentioned it. Albert Roca, that's the end of the debate. Antayame, I'm not convinced that he get. Someone else wants Pedro Benali, Shishmit, that's a nice one. Shouldn't Indian be preferred? Who are you? I don't think so. I would rather go for a foreign coach. And I've said this multiple times. Let's see, so therefore, let's see what happens and what doesn't happen. Julian Nagelsmann, nice one. So therefore, let's see what happens. How about bringing on out as a coach? Thanks a lot. Better not to. Sumo, we need the Japanese or Korean coach who know basics of Indian football. We have set a project work for that coach. You have to do this within 1 year, next part within next year. Suman, football, as I said, national team football doesn't work like that. So that's, so therefore, let's see, therefore for me, doesn't work. Abhirok and Manu, both of them know Indian football, and that's, to be honest, for me, Rocco has been the assistant coach of Brazil. Definitely bring a lot of good surprise packages. I don't believe that. So therefore, so let's see. I see a lot of. I fell asleep, saw Stimac in dream, came back to see if he is gone or not. Yeah, I guess it's as crazy as that. Huh? That's the craziness of this this whole situation that you can think that something like this has happened or something like this could happen, right? So therefore, yeah, it's crazy, but it's reality. It's reality. They have removed Igor Stimac as the head coach, but can afford to pay him if they don't see his considered like bad example is others. They will that money they have, right? Dark Knight wants to party. Whenever the next thing I should renew or start talks regarding contract with FSDL. Yeah, let's see. Boom boom wants Xabi Alonso. Haha. Golden days. One less problem to worry about, I guess. As I've said earlier, I don't think Khalid is the right, so that's something. Croatia losing 3-0, Ego leaving, chronology, Samajra, yes, that could be something. Shiv says, Khalid Jamil, good option. His mentality and experience, his performance suits the new team right. As I said, I don't think so. Arnav says, any coach who's new to Indian football, but a coach who has worked on unorganized football nations. Yeah, that would be, Arnav, that's a nice combo. But again, the question is who's gonna accept these things and who's gonna work on things. That will be the point to me, right? Which is the most important. Who can sort of settle and work in this scenario? We've talked about it compared to Asia. Yeah, Murai, that's certainly a problem. Sumit says now it's the turn of AIFF management. Let's see who from Euro you see in ISL this season. Some Georgia players are being linked, right? So let's see if that is something which is, let's see. Sumit wants an international coach. Ritam says, do you know Bangla? Yes, I do. Leadership content where we get to hear and know truth. Vinit, thanks a lot. I try, as I've always said, I try to be honest. Whatever others do, I don't have to care. I try and stick to what I think is right and try and convey that. So therefore, let's wait and see. And that's something. Arnav compares Stimac to Southgate. That's something. Rudras, sir, what is the update regarding the constitution? There's no update. There's no update regarding the constitution because the constitution has not been discussed or anything done because the Supreme Court. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens. Teresa, what are the real question? Are we going to have a solid structure now for youth development? Sushmit, good question. Very good question. I don't know. Again, I think it's one issue at a time which needs to be sorted. So therefore, it's something. And Murali asked, do abroad people respect Indian football? No. And I think Sushmit gave you that answer. But Murali, to me, that's part of the problem that when we're talking about Indian football abroad, people laugh about us. Again, the whole Qatar thing, where we shout, they cheated us and all that. We got a lot of support, but then people looked up the table, looked at how we played, our results, and said, okay, yeah, but even if if Qatar doesn't score, you guys don't deserve to be in the next round, right? So that's, I don't know how much stick I've gotten over there in regard to Indian football, and it hasn't changed, right? These people sitting in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, I don't know, Kolkata, wherever, don't know what people in the rest of the world think about Indian football. And that's the real problem. So I hope things change. It's difficult, but I do hope, and let's hope, for the betterment of Indian football, things for once and for all change for the good. Steve is better than Igor Stimac, according to Morale. Who do you see as our next coach? Scary. Today, let's be happy about the end of the Stimac area, and to me, and then we in the coming days we can start talking. I want to see what kind of coaches come in the mix. Sorry. Let's hope in the coming days we will realize, whatever happens, and can the right coach come in for us to be able to take the right. So therefore, let's wait and see. Shine says, Oscar Puzon, the salary is too much. I don't know, Shan, what the salaries demand would be now. So let's wait and see what happens. Any update on U17 and 20 team? When will the camps take place and which players have been selected? Heard some chatter, but nothing from apart from coaches. Same here, nothing much at the moment. Still waiting for the update. Havas kind of coach when you can take the control. What's your view? So yeah, I think Stephen was also that kind of a coach. I think we need a strict disciplinarian with the team. I think that's something, someone who's lenient will not work. Now that the current government is re-elected again, will the government take the PIOC players into consideration? Friction, or they need to change certain things? I don't know how much of interest there is. There's been not that much of support from the government in regard to Indian football, so that needs to change as well. Devash says it's okay, but what about AIFF complaint against Qatar match? Will FIFA take action against Qatar match? Kuwait player did play scams, so raise voice against FIFA and FC immediately. We should go next round. How do we get to the next round if I don't even get that? Devash, to even say that, you should be embarrassed to say that, right? Then you don't know what has happened. You are buying into that narrative that we have been robbed. Listen, we have not been robbed. We are exactly there where we should be. We were not good enough. That's the first thing. And even if that goal is not given and all that kind of stuff and whatever with Kuwait and there's that everything, Afghanistan goes through. Kumar says AIFF should not talk about things. Only action matters in football. Yeah. Technical skill is lacking compared to Asia. May come through some loophole back to haunt us. I'm asking us, AIFF is very efficient. I don't blame them. They may say we don't have money and Igor will coach us free. Nah, that's not going to happen. Is the FIFA AIFF Academy running? Yes, it is running, but it's not running the way it should, so to say. So therefore, I hope it gets better. Is AIFF taking strong action against Qatar match, or is he get something from Middle East? Devashish, what strong action can he take? You can complain. The mistake was by the referee. This is something you need to understand. And it annoys me. It makes me angry that people are blaming someone or the other, saying, oh, this is that. What did you say when Anwar Ali committed the foul against the Kuwaiti striker on the 6th? Did we say anything about it? Did anyone put his voice up and say, listen, we robbed the Kuwaitis? No. Don't be selective. Don't be selective. I can be selective as well and say, oh, this is. So, last year saw the U16 gameplay, and although we won in 16, it was the worst gameplay of football I saw. So many of us think it's a cut above the what is it otherwise? And so we're not good at the moment at youth level. That's a very scary part. Anyango dream to represent India the way Indian football functions. Scary. Listen, what you do on the field and what happens in the administration should not bother you. If you are dreaming to become a footballer, you should play football. Yeah. So, all the Lukaku just equalized. Sanskar very well said. 1-1 again. Romelu Lukaku with his 86th international goal. So he's now 8 behind Sunil Chhetri, and that was a world-class strike. Guys, nearly 2 hours. Again, of course, today, a longer session. Once again, thanks to Akshata, Rahul, Hiren, Shayan joining in and for us to do a show. And those of you, for me, very important is that we, that keep supporting Indian football. That's the most important thing. But don't get carried away. Don't think that the fans did it, this guy did it, that guy did it, content creator did it. Again, these conversations are happening in the background, and they've done their stuff, and therefore for me, it's something which I find very interesting, which is good, but it is a question of keep following it, but don't get carried away, and As always, do follow all the channels, be it SportsKhabri, be it Akshata's channel, Seated Sports, be it Curious Harry from Hiren, Indian Food and Football from Shine as well, and of course Arunfoot as well. And yeah, we will at least we will try to be as honest as always as we can, and try and bring to you what we think is right or wrong. But it is a long journey. Indian football is a long journey, so therefore it is something that will hopefully move in the right direction, but it is a long journey. And the goal has been disallowed. Luis Openda with handball, and thanks a lot, guys. And as always, keep watching, and we'll be back tomorrow. And let's see how we're feeling tomorrow and how things are tomorrow. Good night, and I'll see you. Watch stuff on the Euros. I've done a few things. I must probably do something on Stimac and other things as well. So keep following Arunfoot and the other channels as well. Good night for tonight.